Yo, how's it going, guys? This is Mackenzie here. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make iOS apps using Swift 3 and Xcode 8. Now, you're probably like, what the heck is Xcode 8? So we're going to go to the Apple Store right here. You do need to have a Mac. If you're on Windows, you can use Virtual Machine. So search Xcode 8. Just search Xcode. Pops up. This is the program we use to create iOS apps. Look at that beautiful code and the app on the side. It's going to be us. Okay. So once you let it download, it takes a while. So pause the video, come back when it's done. But once you let it download, we're going to click Get Started with Playground. We can name our playground anything. Desktop. And we're going to delete this right away. Now, we don't have to. I just don't want you guys to see the code yet. I want you guys to type it. This way you learn. So I'm going to go over a couple things on this view that you guys are looking at. First off, this is where you type your code. And on the side right here, this is where you see the value of your variables. Now, you don't have that when you're making an app. It only looks this way when you're on Playground. So this is where we're typing our code. Now, if you guys deleted the old code, that's fine. I recommend doing that. So you type it. It's more natural way of learning than just looking at the code. So in programming, you have variables. You have two kinds of variables: var and let. So I'm going to explain both of them. I'm going to explain the more easier one, which is var. Var is just like math. A variable, you assign value to it. So in math, you have variables that you assign a numeric value. In programming, it doesn't always have to be a number. It could be like an actual object, like an Instagram post or something. It can be a title, a number, or my name. It could be anything. So for that example, I'm going to put my name. So var name equals Mackenzie. So I'm going to go over this line real quick. So variable, you don't have to type variable. It won't work actually. But var is how you make a variable. This is what you want to name your variable. So var name. So name is a variable. Got it? Equal is how you assign value to it. And then this is how you put a string. Now, if I was to do this, this wouldn't work. Now, the reason it doesn't work is because it thinks Mackenzie is a variable. This part right here is called the console. This is where you see your errors, if you have any. It thinks Mackenzie is a variable, which is not. I don't see it anywhere, so that's why that's not working. So if you want to make it text, you need to make it a string. This is where you put the two quotes, and you type in whatever you want. So there you go. And just like I mentioned before, you see the value of name right here on the side. Now, what's a let? Like I mentioned before, a let variable. A let variable is exactly like a variable, except one thing, which is you can't change the value of it. So for name, I actually could make it a let. For first name, I'm gonna make it a let because my first name is not changing. And for my last name, I'm also gonna make it a let. The reason is because those variables can't change, and if I try to change them, let's see what happens. So the way you change a variable, you say the name of the variable, and you just set it equal to something else. So if I try to set it equal to Bob, look what happens. Get this error right here. Note, change the let to var to make it, to change it. So, but because name is actually a var, why don't we make name both my first name and last name? So let's try this together. So what you do is you put name equal to first name, and just like in math, plus last name. And look at the side. Wow, that's cool, right? So we just added these two strings together, and you're probably like, why isn't there a space there? And I know one of you guys are gonna try to do this, and you're like, problem solved, awesome. Now, you can't always do that in programming. You can't always edit your variables like that. So another way of doing this is actually like this. I'm gonna type in, then I'm gonna explain it. This way of displaying variables or assigning variables is, you're gonna use it like 1,000 times on your app. It's one of the most things I use when coding, and as you can see right here. So I'm gonna explain exactly what this does. Now remember before how we did this. Basically, what these things do right here, what this does is that it basically says print or display the variable inside. So basically I'm saying display first name, and then whatever I put here that's not a variable or anything. It's not inside this. So it's just gonna print that out also. And then I'm saying print the variable last name. So you guys can believe me, right here I'm gonna put garbage, and look what happens on the side. So it's a perfect way of like putting, you know, your variables inside strings. Now, it's probably the first time you heard me say that. String is a data type. Now, data types are extremely important. Basically what a data type, I'm only going to go over a little bit. Data types is going to be in the next video, but data types are basically, what kind of variable do you have? Do you have an integer, a string, an object, a double? I'm going to give you a quick example why data types are extremely important. First, we're going to put data, all right? And we're gonna assign a value, a data type. So you put a colon, and you put the name of your data type. So I'm gonna put integer, which we mentioned before, holds whole numbers, and doubles hold decimals with whole numbers. So 100. There we go. Now you're probably wondering, how come this you have the data type and these don't? Xcode or Swift automatically assigns a data type automatically to your variable. Now, don't trust that all the times. I actually recommend always to put the data type of your variable on it. Unless you're going straight forward like this, then you know. But there's some cases where you don't know. And I'm going to give you a perfect example of that, which I'm going to rename this to num1. And then num2, just change the number, and say I wanted to add these numbers, num1 plus num2. Now in this example, you do know what num1, num2 is, but let's say you didn't know the value of those, and you wanted to make sure they were integers. You needed to put the data type, so you want to make sure that sum is an integer as well. So I would put integer right here. Now Xcode does have a neat way of crashing when you try to add two different data types. I'm gonna give you an example right there, right now, and then I'm gonna end the video. And on the next video, we're gonna go over more about data types and if statements. Hope you guys enjoy that video. But here is the end of this video, and I'm gonna show you guys it crashes. Now, if we look at the console, it's gonna be your best friend when coding. See right here, it's telling us exactly where it crashed. And the reason is we're adding two integers. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you can add two of the same data types, but not two of the different data types. You're adding two integers, that's perfectly fine. But the problem we're going on, if you take a look at my code, I have sum equals to double. Now, even though the whole sum of it is an integer, sum can only take a double value because of the data type I assigned to it. So if I change this to integer, it works. The error goes away and it displays the total sum right here. Another way to display variables on your console, on this part right here, so you want to see them, is to put print and put the variable inside. Now I'm going to let that run, and here's our value right here. We're going to be using this a lot when we code our actual apps. So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Please comment below if you guys have any questions. I'll be sure to reply to all you guys' comments. One more thing before end the video. I want to go over what this is. It's a beautiful green line. So when you type in that, this is a comment. And this is another comment. Var A equals B, whatever. That, if you put this right here, outside of that comment, look what happens. The program's gonna crash, because this is not valid code. But you're probably wondering, why doesn't it crash right here? And it doesn't crash right here because this is where you comment your code. It's really important to comment your code. So if you're coding with a friend, or if you're just going back looking at your code, you want to know why you did this. So I'm just gonna add a comment right here. This is adding the two numbers. That's just a perfect example why you use a comment, or where you would use a comment. A lot of people use it either on top, or if the line isn't too big like this one, you know, you can put it right at the end of it. It's up to you. You're the coder now. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, watch the next video, and we're gonna build some amazing apps together. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Mackenzie, and see you guys in the next video.